The most feared hitman in the world is one thing, but the most wanted is another. In the shadows of Little Italy, in New York City, lived a man known only as Lucian Graves. He was the most feared hitman in the world, never leaving his targets alive and with a silver dollar in their cold, dead hands. The police were after him, the Russian mafia was after him, and even the Japanese Yakuza had put a price on his head. But there was something about Lucian that made people want to hunt him down more than any other hitman, enforcer, or assassin. Before we dive into the story of this most wanted hitman, if you could show your support by liking this video, it would mean a lot. If you've watched all the way through, then thank you. And let's get started. Lucian Graves got his start in life, working as an enforcer for the local mob boss, Don Corleone, collecting debts and beating people until he could pay. It wasn't long before Lucian earned the title of the most feared hitman in the city. A scary-looking guy, even before he did his job. He would scare his marks so much that they would beg for mercy and hand over whatever money he was after. This actually helped him collect on many of the mob's bad debts. He didn't need to be violent when the threat of violence was enough. But there was a reason why he left a silver coin on every mark, and we'll get to that soon. After working for the mob for years, Lucian Graves heard about a new casino opening up in Vegas. Thinking it would be easy money, he went there to see if he could collect some debts. He met the owner of the casino, a Mr. Big, and told him how he could make him a lot of money by working security and handling any problems that came up. Now, Mr. Big wasn't stupid, but he was greedy and thought he could control Lucian Graves. One night, while working security, Lucian Graves had to break up a fight. It just so happened that one of the guys he broke up the fight was someone who owed money to the Russian mob. Soon, two groups of men surrounded Lucian Graves, the Russians, and the group that had been beaten up by Lucian. Before he knew what was happening, he was outnumbered and outgunned. Now, when things look bleakest, that's when Lucian Graves shines. He took out the two men that were pointing guns at him, kicked one of them in the face, and sent the other flying down the stairs. Once he had dealt with them, he turned his attention to the rest of the crowd and scared them away by himself. When Mr. Big saw what Lucian had done, he tried to fire him, but that didn't go well. You see, word had gotten around about the amazing fighting skills of Lucian Graves. And when Mr. Big fired him, thinking he could just hire more security, those guards refused to work for him. They all wanted to work for Lucian Graves, and they would take a pay cut just to do it. This made Mr. Big angry, and he confronted Lucian Graves about it. He thought that Lucian was somehow intimidating the other guards not to work for him. But when he told Lucian he was fired, he should leave now. Little did he know that this would be the last mistake he ever made. As soon as Lucian Graves walked outside, he was met by several men offering him jobs, but he turned them all down. That's when the men offered to buy him a drink. They explained that they were from the Italian, Russian, and Japanese mobs, and they had heard about his skills. They said that he was a free agent, and they wanted him to work for them. They also explained that they knew he was unworking for Mr. Big anymore, and they wanted to know if he would work for them. Lucian Graves sat down and listened to them. Then he looked at each one of them and said, "I work for me." He stood up and walked out, leaving them stunned. This is when Lucian Graves became a free agent, taking jobs from anyone he wanted and leaving his calling card on everyone he killed. A single silver coin. He would take out members of the Russian mafia, the Japanese Yakuza, and even the Chinese triads. He also took out corrupt cops and politicians. And word spread far and wide about the most wanted hitman in the world. Over time, Lucian Graves became a legend, and he had a code that if a woman or a child was involved, he would take the job for half the price. Some believed he did this because he had a soft spot for women and children, but that wasn't true. He simply didn't like taking jobs where innocent people were involved. This is what made him different from other hitmen, enforcers, and assassins. While he would take out anyone for the right price, he wouldn't take out a family if there were kids involved. And he seemed to have a soft spot for women. Sure, he would take out women, but he never did anything to them that didn't need to be done. And he never left a woman for dead, unless she was his target. Now, this next part is the real reason why Lucian Graves became the most wanted man in the world. As he traveled around doing his job, he would take out members of the Russian mob, the Japanese Yakuza, the Chinese triads, and corrupt cops and politicians. But he would always leave behind a single silver coin on the body of every victim. Now, you might be asking yourself, why? Well, the answer is simple. You see, Lucian Graves wasn't just a hitman. He was also a vigilante. He wasn't working for the mobs, nor was he working for the cops or any government agency. He worked for himself. and he was taking out people that needed to be taken out. He was taking out members of the Russian mob, Japanese yakuza, Chinese triads, and corrupt cops and politicians. These are the people who prey on the weak and innocent, and they're the ones who often get away with it, but not while Lucian Graves was around. He was taking out these people and leaving behind a single silver coin as a calling card. This is what made him the most wanted hitman in the world. Cops were after him because they couldn't catch him. Mobs were after him because they couldn't control him. And even rival gangs were after him because they couldn't beat him. There was only one problem with this lifestyle. And that was the fact that Lucian Graves was wanted for every crime he committed, no matter how good his intentions were. You see, when he took out members of the mob, the police would arrive first. And since they found the body before the mob did, they assumed he was the killer. So they put out a warrant for his arrest. And then when the mob found out that their member was killed and they found the calling card, they put out a price on Lucien's head. This is what made him the most wanted hitman in the world. Now, eventually, word got around about the legend of Lucian Graves, and he was hunted down by cops, the Russian mob, the Japanese yakuza, the Chinese triads, and even rival gangs. They all wanted him dead or alive, and they would take him to their respective bosses for a reward. Now, this is where things get interesting because none of them could take him alive. He was too dangerous, and they didn't want to risk getting hurt trying to capture him, so they all went after him with guns blazing. This made Lucian Graves into a one-man army. He had to take on an entire crew of men at once, and he had to do it without being able to shoot back. After all, he was wanted for murder, and if they caught him with a gun, they would pin more murders on him. So this is how Lucian Graves became the most wanted hitman in the world. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.